But you've shown that through your processing methods that Catimor is capable of some very high quality flavors as well.
Yeah, thank you for that. It's a nice cue. Because that is really the key thing about Yunnan coffee. The market, the people that in the industry and the consumers didn't believe in Yunnan coffee. Because for the longest time, it was a relatively low-grade commercial coffee. And it had a by-name Yunnan Taste, which was phenolic, because it was typically dried on drying patios that were not well maintained. And there was very little education done as to what it takes to keep a coffee clean in terms of its flavor.
So that's okay if it's going into instant coffee or some just commercial application.
If you roast very dark and process it further, maybe into already ground coffees that are sold at discount prices in discount stores, it doesn't matter, right? It's not going to be a connoisseur who's going to drink that. If it's processed into a soluble coffee, instant coffee, for sure you mask that entirely with the further processing. It didn't matter. So everybody was happy with that to start with, and even to this present day, big traders are very happy with that, but it's not helpful for the small farms because they don't have the efficiencies that big farms have, so their cost is anyway already higher. So they have no way of actually being able to make a living on commercial grade coffees when they only produce maybe 1 ton of coffee a year.
So
they have
in order
they have to feed a household of 4 generations with that.
So in order to stand out and do something different, you're doing some post-harvest processing that elevates the coffee.
Yeah, so we said the only way we can help these people sustainably is we need to work with them that they pay absolute attention to quality. Every step of the way just needs to be about quality, quality, quality.
So what's the starting point of that? What's the first step in that chain?
Yeah, so we decided we need to start with what they have, which is Catimor, planted Catimor, right? Because otherwise they would have to take a break for 4 years, which they can't afford either.
Yeah.
So then we need to help them do good, do well with what they have. So that means start with teaching them how to properly maintain their plantation. So we actually had to show them, like, if you have a tree that has sprouted 7 main stems, cut away 4 of the 7 and you will have more and better coffee in the end. Because otherwise it just spends so much of its strength into producing a lot of leaves, right? And of course they wouldn't believe it, so we would have to show them. And lo and behold, of course the next season they find the part where we trimmed them all away had more cherries and better cherries than the trees that they just kept the way they were and were thinking that way they have more coffee and better coffee.
So you had to develop a lot of trust with them as well.
Yes, which is where Mr. Zhu, who is our general manager for all Yunnan operations and a very trusted close friend of mine through our joint time here, comes in, because he himself was born son of a farmer, not in this province though, he moved here. But so he understands how farmers think. And he also speaks, because he's been here now for 2 decades, he speaks several of the minority dialects. Most of the coffee farmers that we work with are actually ethnic minorities.
Okay.
Because this is the area where you have Laos, Myanmar, Vietnam and China bordering each other.
We're very close to the borders of
so
those countries.
these minority tribes actually live on each side of the borders. The countries came later, basically.
Okay.
And so...
There's lines on a map, really.
Yes, exactly. And so he works with them, speaking their language and spending time with them, literally staying with them. And so that way they develop that trust. If I, as a foreigner, had come and tried to speak in Mandarin with them about how they should be growing coffee, it would not have worked. So this is how, now they trust me too, but that took much longer.